Okay, so as part of the stakeholder assessment, we gathered information from several dozen project stakeholders. And I know it's kind of a nominal group technique that's kind of cheapskate, but it should give us input from the larger stakeholder group. And it should only take us a couple minutes. So let's go ahead and take a look at that information.
I have about 10 responses here, and the first 5 all mention turnover among engineers. That's one of my big concerns too. With this leading edge technology we're using, we're going to have to invest a great deal in our training, our engineers, and the specialty technology. There aren't a lot of people walking around who know this technology, so even a little turnover can really hurt.
Well, I see a couple of people who hope that the new technology works so they can use it later on in their own departments, piggybacking off of our work. I guess that's not a risk, but it's a good thing.
Well, we can have positive risks too. And if other departments can take the technology we develop on this project and use it without having to make an investment, that's a very good thing for the company. So let's label that one as a positive risk.
But there's another side to that coin. This new technology may prove to be unreliable, and we're going to have to go back to square one. I say that's a big risk.
That would double the cost of our budget and cost hundreds of thousands of dollars.
Yeah, risk management could cost us hundreds of thousands of dollars. People, I don't want to hear this.
No, I was saying that if we don't contain a technological risk, it could double our project budget.
Okay. Go ahead, spend some more time on that one because we don't want a $100,000 budget overrun.
Would you mind if we spent a few extra hours this evening working past our 5 p.m. deadline?
No, and you just go ahead and do that, okay? And you spend some more time on the big risks because we can't have that. Yeah, okay, thank you. Excuse
Okay. All right, now we could very well explore some other risk categories, but I think we've already identified 3 major risks. First of all, we have the risk, as you said, of engineer turnover, because people with the knowledge of this new technology can be very hard to find. Second, we have the risk that this new technology may not work reliably. And third, we have the beneficial or good risk that the new technology does work and the new departments can benefit from tens of thousands of dollars of savings by using what we develop.
Okay. Now before we finish this brainstorming session, I think we should do a little bit of root cause analysis on these risks. Let's start with the engineer turnover. Now, why do we think engineers might leave the project midstream?
Some of them might find higher paying jobs, or jobs with a better future than working at Royster.
Or some of them might hate this technology that they have to learn and feel like it's sidetracking their careers.
Well, this is a pretty fast-paced project, and you might have some people leave because of it, particularly when you start talking about overtime or weekend work.
Right, now the last thing we'll need at this stage is some preliminary risk response ideas before we go into the next step, which is qualitative analysis. Anyone?
I agree with Kim on the impact of overtime and weekend work on turnover. But unless we can promise the whole project team that they won't have to do any of that extra work, I don't see how we can promise no overtime or weekends to the engineers. Still making a commitment to the team of no overtime or weekends, even if we get behind, is one potential response. That's a bad idea, isn't it?
Well, actually, it's not that bad of an idea because people usually have much less productivity when they have to work 10 to 12 hours a day. It's really a lousy way to catch up when we've fallen behind. But the fact of the matter is, maybe we could overstaff the project for the work that has to be done and make that commitment. But we would have to keep it as one potential risk response.
Wait. Are you guys crazy? Okay, no overtime and no weekend work? This is insane. We have a critical project, okay? Of course there's going to be overtime. There's going to be weekend work. I mean, my God, probably lots of it. And promising people that they don't have to do it is lunacy. How else are we going to catch up? I can tell you that I'm wishing right now that I hadn't even gone with this whole little bit of risk management, and you are going to make this project a summer vacation for all of our employees.
Actually, Gwen, we're talking about avoiding risks that could cost hundreds of thousands of dollars if we don't mitigate them.
What about money? What if we told everyone on the project team they'd get $1,000 bonuses if they stuck with us through the last deliverable?
We can pay a lot $1,000 bonuses for what it would cost us to find replacement engineer and then train them on this new technology. I like that one.
Those are really good ideas for engineers' turnovers, but what I'm struggling with is trying to figure out how we reduce the risk of the technology not working. I mean, can we get some experts to come in and maybe do a study? Their findings could help us avoid any problems or switch technologies now if they're dubious about it working.
That would actually reduce the magnitude of the risk because we'd find out early before we'd invested too much.
Could we do a pilot program? You know, test it on a small section of our data and a limited number of people.
That's a good idea. And it probably wouldn't cost too much, but it would take some time and delay the project. All right, these are all some good ideas about the positive risk if the technology works. Now, how can we milk it for all it's worth with other departments?
Well, we could try to see if we could get people from other departments involved in the work on the project, and then they could see the technology up close. And that could be a really good springboard for other departments getting the maximum benefit.
That's not too bad. Well, all right, we came up with a risk management plan and did our risk identification in about an hour and a half. Let's move on to qualitative analysis after maybe a 10-minute break.